We are getting ready for a super wild card weekend here on CBS Sports HQ. Taking a look at some of the AFC games we got coming up this weekend. You got the Raiders going up against Joe Burrow, Smoking Joe, and the Bengals there. Patriots, Bills. We're going to talk about the cold weather. It's going to be basically 0 degrees, and that does not bode well for Josh Allen there. And then earmuffs for this guy who's on set next to me. You'll see him in a second. The Steelers beating the Ravens in overtime, going up against the Chiefs. The Chiefs a double-digit favorite there. And then in the NFC, the Eagles, who've been sneaky good, going up against Tampa Bay, Tom Brady and the Bucs. 49ers, Cowboys, of course, a rivalry renewed. And then an NFC West showdown between the Cardinals and Rams. The third time these two teams will meet this season. Let's welcome in Super Bowl 35 MVP Ray Lewis. Here are some of the biggest storylines you're watching heading into this weekend. Here are some of the, of course, key matchups. We're going to talk about defense a lot here. Let's start with the Patriots and Bills Saturday night. The weather is like a high of 11, a low of 44. This is not great news for Josh Allen.
It is not great news for Josh Allen, and it's interesting because he's the second worst in the past 15 seasons in cold weather. Right? And I think if you watch his game last week, I think he's going to have to take a page from his own book, right? What does that mean exactly for the people at home? It's understanding Josh is going to have to keep the ball 3rd down and 4, 3rd down and 5. He's going to have to come that extra running back, right? Because, you know, Diggs talking about the ball is too hard, take something off of it, things like this. But Josh Allen, the only way to correct this and change this is he has to keep the balls in his hands to extend the 3rd downs. And I'm telling you, if he does not do this, then I think the Patriots come out, maybe victorious. But yeah, I didn't necessarily pick the Patriots, but but I will tell you that I think Josh Allen has to use his legs as an extra runner because he has to control the ball game, right? One of the things about cold weather, if you watch what happened, I think almost the first time they played, they ran the ball 40 plus times, right? And threw the ball twice. This is the Patriots, right? So what's going to change with that formula, right? If you're Bill Belichick, nothing changed, right? Superman didn't come and join the Bills, right? It's the same players. And so I think they're going to use the same formula on that side. I think Josh Allen has to counter that with his legs on his side.
What about the Bills defense, not knowing necessarily what's going to happen there with Josh Allen? How do they set up in this game?
You know what? Honestly, they have to have a player meeting without the coaches.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's simple, right? Anytime anyone can run the ball 40 plus times, and I mean, when I say run the ball, we're talking about 2 backs in the backfield, downhill, pounding you. That's not scheme. That's us telling you we're just going to punch you in the mouth, right? And they have to change that. They have to put on their big boy pass this week. You know, it's not going to be a lot of passing. And Bill Belichick is going to put them in a 2-back set, and they're going to run the football.
Let's head to Dallas here. We got the 49ers going to town. Of course, Kyle Shanahan saying, look, none of my players remember what happened in the 90s and the 80s.
No, nobody.
You remember a little bit more, though. But when it comes to the 49ers front seven, you sent over some notes before this, and you said, look, this may be the best front seven in the playoffs right now. I'm
telling you, in the entire playoffs, like what Fred Warner, what Nick Bosa, what these boys are doing over there, they are hunting people, right? And I mean, when I say fast, that front four, they are getting off the football. When I'm telling you what Nick Bosa is doing right now, what Fred Warner is doing, like I'm telling you, these guys have changed the dynamic, the way you play football. And one of the things that you can cover up on the back end, Amanda, which is really interesting, is the only weakness they may have may be their corners. But you can cover that up playing a nice cover two and telling your front seven, go hunt, go feed us, and we'll sit back and we'll jam them inside and we'll make sure we keep everything in between the hashes. But I'm telling you, the San Francisco 49ers have a formula. And Dallas is going to have to figure this out.
I was going to say, Dak Prescott, that offense, how do they get around that?
Listen, Dak is back to playing like Dak before he got hurt. But they're going to have
to. Took a minute.
Yeah, it did take a minute. And it took a minute for the entire Cowboys offense, I'll tell you that much. But Dak is going to have to complete some passes downfield. They're going to have to figure out ways to target those corners, to go at those corners. But now you have another problem, right? The front seven is coming. So, Dak, can you get rid of the football? Ezekiel Elliott healthy enough, right, to run against this defense. Because this defense, I'm telling you, Fred Warner may be one of my new favorite linebackers in the National Football League, playing the middle linebacker position because the way he plays it. But it's the mentality of the San Francisco 49ers. Switch over, Kyle Shanahan, and that style run game and that offense I'm telling you, I didn't think we was going to see another Tyreek Hill. But this Deebo Samuel, this kid is just absolutely phenomenal. Just dynamic in the way Kyle Shanahan uses him. That's what makes the West Coast offense so hard. And the run game, what Kyle does with this run game, Dallas, look, I get it. Michael Parsons, I get it. I understand it, all that. But I'm telling you, the 49ers coming to town, and it's going to be rough.
Do you have a way you're leaning? Are we allowed to ask you that?
I'm going to keep it.
Okay. Okay. Unlike your friend Julian Edelman there. Let's talk about the Steelers going to Kansas City. Yeah. And I love what you said about this. It could be good or it could be scary. It
can be scary. And listen, we're talking about, if you're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course they have TJ Watt, who's arguably the defensive player of the year, right? Hands down. But they have the worst run defense in football. And Kansas City, because of people are starting to play them differently since the Super Bowl last year with Todd Bowles, they're now starting to adjust to, we have to run the ball. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have the worst run defense in football. So I'm telling you, this can get so scary for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then you hear the comment, Ben comes out, we're just going to go have fun. Ben, I don't know if you ever said you wanted to have fun playing against me. I wish you'd have came out and had fun instead of being so serious. That type of comment changes everything, and that's why I think, Najee came out and said what he said. I don't know what you're talking about, but nothing is fun about this, right? And Kansas City, I think, beginning of the season, everybody, it's over. You gave them life. And this is a game that I think they can get their entire swagger back because they can go in and they can really punish the Pittsburgh Steelers and get ready for this next round, whoever it may be. And I think Kansas City Chiefs can have a lot to say going in deep in the AFC playoffs.
Okay, so really quickly, I want to go back to that Big Ben soundbite because you've read it a little bit. You've kind of seen the reaction from it. I want to get, because, you know what it's like to be a team leader, because let's hear it real fast from Big Ben.
Yeah,
we're probably 20-point underdogs, and we're going to the number one team that's, I know they're not the number one seed, but they're the number one team that's won the AFC the last 2 years. Arguably the best team in football. We don't have a chance. So let's just go in and play and have fun.
When you hear that, it's kind of in jest, but to hear that from a team leader going into a playoff game?
I don't know if I ever walked into a game to have fun. And a game with this magnitude, I don't know. I think Ben is this roller coaster that he's been on the last few weeks, right? Last game in Pittsburgh, right? Last game against Cleveland, last game in Baltimore. And this ride that he's on, it's a great ride. But interesting enough, when I took that ride was the most serious thing I had going on in my life. I was nothing fun. It's like, man, listen, I'm pissed off. I'm hurt. This is probably my last ride. Ben, he has to understand, I think, what's at stake. Even though his legacy is coming to an end, there's some young lions, right? Claymore and Chris and
you talked about Najee and stuff like that, and they are hungry.
They hungry, man. These young kids, they on Twitter, right? They know what's going on. They know what's going on. They want to be talked about. They want to be on Instagram and all of these things. So I'm telling Big Ben, listen, I love you, brother, but this is not a game to go out and play with. This is a game to go out and take dead serious because Patrick Mahomes is trying to embarrass you. He's trying to send Big Ben out on a bad note for sure.
Ray Lewis, we appreciate you. Before I let you go, your friend Julian Edelman put in $100,000 on Bucks and Patriots.
Yeah.
Any words for Jules?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him right now. I need to pray for him. Me and him got to go do some therapy. I just left him, and I did not know this man he put $100,000 down on the Patriots and Bucks going to the Super Bowl. He got a lot of money to spend. I ain't got that much money to spend like that.
Prayers for Julian Edelman.
Prayers for Julian Edelman.
We appreciate you, Ray. Ray Lewis, we appreciate you so much here. You can hear more from Ray on Inside the NFL. New episodes streaming right now on Paramount Plus exclusively there. Those new episodes drop at 9:30 Eastern. Ray, thank you. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.